Hi guys, welcome back to My Dreams Reality Podcasts. I'm your host, Alpha Ro, and we are back for today's podcast. We'll be looking into the way of water, strength in flexibility. A lot of us, we are rigid. We are more like rocks than we are flesh. Flesh is it's somewhat flexible in a way. It's semi-solid. If you touch my shoulder right now, your skin will be moved. There will be some movement in your body, and there will be some movement in my body. But somehow, when it comes to our mindset, when it comes to our mentality and the way we approach life, the way we do our things, we somewhat are so rigid. We are like iron beams, like steel beams cast in concrete. We have a goal in mind, but we are not flexible on the path. You know, there is a famous Japanese quote that says that, hey, there is more than one way to the top of the mountain. There is more than one way to the top of the mountain. Some might say, or some might argue that, hey, that's not a Japanese quote, but I'm pretty sure that it is Asian. There is more than one path to the top of the mountain. What you do need to know, what you do need to keep in mind is that there is a top of the mountain, that there is a peak and you're heading somewhere. You have to have a goal. This is why I always tell people that, hey, you need to write down your goals every single time, have them written down somewhere, and make sure you review them daily. Because if you do not have your goals written down, you do not have a map you're working with. I know some people say, well, I have a great memory. But you have to remember that the mind is a very busy organ. We have problems in life. There are so many things that happen in our lives, and our mind has to deal with all those situations. It has to deal with your dopamine ups and downs. It has to deal with your emotional roller coasters. It has to deal with the negative people in our lives and the positive people too, you know. So your mind is almost overloaded. And to top it up, there is the internet. We have what they call information overload. Nowadays, that process, actually, it's that phenomenon when you have so much information flooding into your brains and you do not have enough time to process it. That, my friend, is called information overload. We have TikTok, we have all these other applications, social media platforms designed to keep you hooked in. I urge you all to have time off of those applications. Those apps are good for leisure, but when leisure is now most of your time, when leisure is now 60% of your day, it's no longer leisure, it's now something that is now enslaved you. So get off those things, get off those social media apps, write down your goals on paper, make sure they're detailed goals, and work on them day and night. Be flexible. You know, Bruce Lee, as cliche as it may sound, I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee, and I'm also a big fan of one of his most famous quotes. It goes like, "Be water, my friend." You can put water in a teapot, it becomes a teapot. You can put water in a cup, it becomes the cup. What it's trying to say is that water is so unusually persistent. It's flexibly persistent. Water is so persistent, it travels towards gravity. I tell you, rivers are one of those things that should tell you that, hey, water is quite persistent. A river can form from out of nothing, from it being a spring to it traveling all the way from Egypt and passing through DRC Congo Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and reaching the ocean. That is a long distance that if you were to walk that distance on foot, it might take you months, if not years. That is the power of water. I mean, drops of water can actually drill through a rock, granite. It can actually dig through granite. So in that sense is be flexible on your way to the top. Be flexible on your way to accomplishing your goals, on your way to being the person that you have set yourself to become. Be flexible, because in life there are so many things that can happen that we did not account for, and you have to find ways to adapt so that you stay on the path, which means the goal hasn't changed, the destination has not changed. The only thing that's changed is that we may have taken a detour, but we are going there. We are still heading towards the top of the mountain. So sometimes you may have to go through being a porter before you become a chef. That is you being flexible. Sometimes you may have to be an accountant before you can actually be a business owner. Sometimes you have to work in supply chain before you start your own business, because now through you being in the humblest of places, you learn more about the business, you learn more about the process than you could have learned if you're just thrown right to where you need to be. You learn those things that most people don't even know about their own business. Now you know that, hey, if this is happening, something's not okay. And if you are not making profits, you know where to cut your costs so that you can keep the business alive. You will know a lot of things from just being humble. Water is a very humble substance. This is why it's so persistent, because it's flexible. It is humble in a way that serves its goal. That is the lesson that I leave you with today. Be humble in a way that serves your dreams, in a way that serves your goals. That way you're going to make it. That way you're going to find the cracks in the wall that I've asked each and every single one of you to go through, to dig through. If you're flexible, you find the cracks and you will sip right through the wall. Before anyone knows it, before anyone can see it or even detect it, you'll be on the other side. You'll be in El Dorado, the Golden City. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the My Dreams Reality Podcast. I'm your host, Alpha Ro. I'll be seeing you guys next time.
Pachikuna tita kuzipasando Lanita nekuzimbisa Nekungo simbiswa Yeah. You say you know me, but you don't know my story. When no see it, I say you go. Yeah. You say you family, usingazi the pain. Irimu moyo mangu. Yeah. Mundi siye. Pay muga